are you just like a project guy? You like to tackle projects
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah, I can't.
plan.
Yeah, I can. I once I master something or I get, a good workflow on something, I think to myself, okay, how can I be better? What's the next step in this? And I just keep moving forward. I kick my own ass in that sort of sense.
Okay, and so okay, so continuously pushing you, or do you keep like planning documents and you have this like okay, phase one for the plan, phase two, phase three, or it's mostly in your head and you're like, I know where I kind of want to go, and so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna.
Yeah, I don't really document that much. Like on the like I said, like on the technical side, I'm very hands on, but when it comes to like the very detailed, like you're asking me about the different frequencies for audio, like I'm not really there yet, but I will be.
No, I guess no. I'm meaning so I'll talk about myself here. So if I want to take on a new project or a new task, I put it into a planning document.
Oh, okay.
So trying to find out what exactly is my end goal, um, find out things that others who have done a similar task have learned in the past,
Okay.
and then run the idea by some counselors
Oh yeah, that's
or
smart.
advisors, and
Yeah.
then depending on the nature of the project, uh, tally up cost associated with it, and then um, run it by God, and then start carrying through the actual steps of completing the project.
Yeah. I mean, that's smart. It minimalizes trial and error, right? I mean, of course there can be trial and error, but there's not as much.
So it does depend on the project, but
Okay.
I am trial and error is either beginning at the very beginning of the of a task, trying to figure something out, or it's being worked in somewhere in the task. So, for example, I post videos on Instagram talking about Jesus Christ, talking about uh, tools that people can use in order to play this game called life. So, for example, uh, practicing forgiveness. And so, in that process of uploading videos, finding out how to upload, finding out how to edit, finding out how to deliver whatever message I'm delivering. So there's trial and error built into the system. It's a fun thing, trial and error.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that I was not fully aware of in my past, that on most projects you're going to have to tinker around
Yeah.
to figure out. It's like, okay, um, should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? I did
Yeah.
it this way for about 10 times and it was okay. Let me add this tweak, and then moving forward. There are often times where in my past, I was trying to nail perfection
Right.
on the first go, and then if if something wasn't perfect, I would be like, oh man, I messed up. Yeah. That what I call self condemnation or self guilt for some people, and I found that that is very limiting, um, because that would keep me from moving forward. Or if I did move forward, uh, I would be worried in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm like, I didn't get that one perfect. And now in this moment, I'm worried that I'm not going to get this part of the project or this leg of the project perfect. And so that happens with some things. But as I'm thinking about my deadlift in the gym. And I tell you, that thing I tinkered around with for a while. I tinkered around with that deadlift for a while, and there's still tweaks. I got a real good tweak from one of my Instagram followers. This was a few Saturdays ago. He was like, "Hey." He had asked me, "Hey, let's hit the gym," and I'm like, "Okay," because I'll be in the gym on Saturday, anyways, and so it's like, yeah, why not? Why not do a workout or a training session?
Yeah.
And so we did a training session, and he was like, "Yeah, your shoulder blades are way too far over the bar," and so he's like, get tight into that. Into the starting position, and so this way reposition the shoulder blades, and so I could have more of a straight path up. And it was a real good tweak, real good tweak. But even to get to that point, I had to do like a whole bunch of stuff before mobility, tinkering around, trial and error. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, trial and error, and then also sometimes you have to let your guard down. Like say if you're like a hard head, and didn't want to listen to anybody else or didn't want to follow anybody else's recommendations. Like sometimes it's easy to stay.
I'm not familiar with that term, hard-headed. Always listen to everybody. I'm messing with you.
I was gonna Google a definition for hard-headed right now.
No, I got it.
No, what I am saying is that sometimes you have to be vulnerable to listening. You have to put your guard down for yourself. To move forward in something. Like if you had something set in your mind, sometimes it's easy just to back away from it and look at the big picture of what you're trying to do. Most won't do that. Their ego gets in the way of what they want to do, and it's overall just trusting the process. Sometimes. Like you will have a plan, and you're so fixated on the plan that you don't let other variables into your plan.
Okay, so you use the interesting word there. Sometimes you have to let your guard down. If you don't mind me asking, why do you use that term? I'm just trying to figure out just a little bit more.
Okay.
I like the way it sounds. I'm trying to think of how to apply this to my speech.
Oh, okay.
Moving forward.
So
trying to steal your stuff, man.
No worries. It's all good. That's what we're here for. I guess I'm trying to say when. Like you're so focused, like you have tunnel vision. You're so focused on one certain goal or one certain thing that you don't open up to maybe something that can positively uplift you with that goal. But you're so focused on that goal that there's an idea that might help you in the long run for that goal, but you're so focused that you'll just move it out of the way. I'm focused on this
Just
goal. Leave me alone. You know what I mean?
okay. So it's almost like
Your tunnel
you got
vision.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like,
That's your guard. There's the guard.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I have worked into my planning documents. Speak to counselors
There we go. Yeah,
and
exactly.
advisors.
Perfect example for
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So obviously you are
I don't
listening.
always, I don't always take their advice, but
Hey, well you're listening, right?
and so what I have found is it's important to hear what someone else is saying, because so there's a verse in the book of Proverbs that goes something like this, or I'll paraphrase it. It's like, yeah, everything sounds good to you in your head, but give it to your neighbor and see what it sounds like to them. And
Right.
so that's maybe the best way to put it. And so this is one of the reasons why I like to talk to counselors and get advice, because it's like, oh yeah, that idea sounds solid to me. And then you run it by the counselor. It's like, it's like, maybe you should tweak that and tweak this. And so this is another reason why I like that. And counselors add a different perspective.
Exactly.
Because if you're in tunnel vision,
yeah,
sometimes they're seeing things about the plan that you can't see.
Exactly. Right.
And,
right.
Well, we just can't see. I mean, we can't see everything as human beings, and so this is why it's a good thing to have advisors and counselors. And so I found that sometimes I've completely tweaked a plan, or I'm incorporating pieces of what it's like. Okay. I'm glad I talked to him.
Yeah,
I'm glad I talked to her. That was a good piece for me moving forward. And so, yeah, it does. It takes, I guess, a couple of times of getting bust upside your head by life, and that in part being due to not having asked for advice on something, to bringing me to the point where it's like, yeah, you know what, I think it's actually a really good idea to work some things, to work things out between other people or with counselors or advisors.
I mean, would you agree that that's a type of wisdom? That's a type of wisdom to take consideration from another human being, right? Like, if you just go about life in your own mind and you don't share that with another person to hear their perspective on it, then, I mean, I don't know where I was going with that, but.
Well, you said it. It is wisdom to do such. And it's practicing humility as well, saying, I don't have everything figured out. And
yes,
hey, I'll take that help.
Yes, exactly.
And so, but this has some very serious implications in actual life, because it's not just a matter of, oh, I'm working on a plan. How can I do this better? How can I do that better? It comes down to human beings. We bottle things up, and maybe somebody's struggling with something in their relationship with their mother, father, husband, wife, kid, and bottle it up, and you're thinking, or a person is thinking, I'm gonna figure this out somehow, or I'm too embarrassed to ask. And so we don't get help when we need to, or when we could have gotten it very early on in whatever relationship issue might be occurring. And so it's one of those things to put into practice, that humility and saying, I need help. What do you think about this? Let me listen to you.
Yeah.
And I've seen, and it's time and time again, I've seen that, well, there's a process also to getting help, but one thing that I'll put out there is that I have gotten advice from 5-year-olds. I've gotten advice from people who most would consider haters. And I like to use the term people who are not in full alignment with me.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, the reason why I say that is because after I've gotten wisdom from them, then it's like, I'm like, this person helped me out a lot. I can't.
That's a good way to put it.
Call them a hater, although it might feel like that in the moment, or other people might be like, yeah, that person. It's like, why are you talking to them? But it's like, yeah, no, I've gotten some good stuff from people who have been in like direct opposition to me. And so vital things that have helped me, as we've been discussing perfection in the process. So this testing and getting better, testing and getting better. So in life, that testing and getting better, testing and getting better. And it's a good thing to, and I'm not trying to brag here, but it's a good thing to to like choke your pride or choke your ego and say back up.
Yeah.
And so that, like, what that physically looks like is sometimes it's like I put my head down. And it's so I put my head down, I go into submissive posture, and that has helped me shut the ego off and say, what is this person giving me? Or what am I hearing in this situation? And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it's a little bit of an internal battle because sometimes as you're talking with someone and there's conflict, it's like sometimes you feel words like trying to climb out of you and like,
absolutely,
I gotta say something. And so it comes down to this internal battle to like, get out of here because I'm trying to get something from this person. Or it's a matter of not just get something. It's like, humble yourself, Emmanuel. Relax, because you don't have everything figured out. And history says that this person is likely going to help you in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
And where do you think that awareness comes from? Like even knowing that you have to step away from a certain type of situation to assess it. Like, that is number one, right? You have to be aware of there's actually a second point to being uh to knowing that there's something else different than what you're thinking or than what you're planning. Like, where did you find that awareness came from? Is it just something that you picked up, or trial and error, maybe?
So I would say trial and error for me, but the basis of that trial and error is my belief in God. And so, because there are specific scriptures that say there's safety in the multitude of counselors. And so, and then the other one that I pointed out in regards to that kind of goes like this. Yeah, you think that sounds good, but run it by your neighbor and see what they say. And so having that as a foundation for some of my discussions, that drives me into that self-awareness.
Right.
Yeah. And so that has, it's been a good thing. That has been a good thing, man. It, as we talked about that ego, it's, that kid is a problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so it takes some practice, trial and error to
It's a toddler. That ego that we have is a toddler on 50 grams of sugar, just running wild in a Chinese Chinese tea set form. There's a saying out here that that person is like a bull in a Chinese set store, running wild, breaking everything. Basically, that's what it is. It takes all the information that we really don't realize and uses that information against us.
What do you mean by that? It takes all of the information.
Like your ego, I guess I was along the lines of talking about subconscious.
Okay.
All your I mean, you have your consciousness and your subconsciousness. Your subconsciousness, we're not even aware of that. That subconscious throughout the day, daily, and it messes with us internally. We sometimes we don't have control over it unless we have the awareness to have control over it. But then again, we really don't know. We really can't.
And I tell you, I have no concern with putting that toddler into a chokehold.
You have to.
Somebody might hear that bit and say, wait, what? They clicking forward and say, wait, what?
That's a good one. I like that.
Some spin on the title.
Yeah.
This kid wants to choke a toddler, and he has no problem with it. But it's important to. So as you were pointing out in regards to the conscious, subconscious, I have discovered that, and this coming from that self-awareness, that there's even a deeper layer. And so, for example, it was one day I was going to put my phone on the table, and somehow I ended up taking a screenshot, and boom, first thought into the mind that I was aware of. So coming from what I believe to be subconscious was like, oh man. And so when I went and evaluated that, I'm like, okay, there is a deeper level thought that influence me to say, oh man. And the deeper level thought being, I'm going to have to go back and delete this one later.
Yeah.
Like just, I know this just added a little bit of work to my plate. I mean, it's one photo, but just knowing that it's like, okay, in a sense, I call it shadow thoughts.
Okay.
And so, because I've discovered it not just in regards to that, but it's like there's something deeper that can drive a person's actions. So I'm trying to think if I can give another example. Maybe if I have fear to approach a stranger on the street. So say for instance, I have like 5-second window, and as I'm going to approach them, I can't. I'm trying to think of an example, but it's not perfectly coming out. But
It'll come back to you. I like the I like that though. The shadow. What did you call it? The shadow
thoughts.
Shadow thoughts.
So yeah, it's like something at a deeper level that has influenced me to action or influenced a person to action. Maybe you go into a store and you're looking for a cold drink, and without even thinking, it's boom, hand to Coca-Cola. You grab that. And what could be driving that is that commercial you saw 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like like that has gotten buried into your conscious, subconscious. And that's what influenced the decision without you even remembering that you saw that commercial. And it's just like, I'm looking, let me get the Coke. And it's like that deeper level thing that's driving an action.
Yeah, it's reactions that we are not aware of. Like, I think that's the toughest part when it comes to like self-preservation or self-development, is how you react to things. Like how do you react into certain situations? Either negatively, are you reacting to them in a negative sense, or are you reacting to them, I guess, in a positive sense? And of course, being positive all the time is it's not realistic. I mean, there's some times where being negative and going through the motions of being negative with yourself and just that battle that you have within yourself is positive. So sometimes it can be very, very useful. I mean, to be negative, to wrestle with yourself, to wrestle with those negative thoughts, and not. Of course, you're gonna have a reaction to them, no doubt, but at least you're acknowledging them and you're trying to not necessarily changing them, but you're giving awareness to them. And even trying to be positive all the time can be counterintuitive. I mean, Mark Manson, he wrote a book called The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And that is one of the concepts that he has about other self-development writers, that they're saying, be positive all the time and this and that. Sometimes it can't help on a level, but he was trying to dig into the deeper level of reality. You can't be positive all the time. It's hard. I mean, there are some times where sometimes it just, life will take you through a wild ride, take you through a roller coaster, right? Without a seatbelt on. You forgot to put shoes on you ate a big, you ate a big lunch and a chili cheese fries for lunch, and they throw you on that roller coaster. What's going to happen? Sometimes life will do that to you. But how you react to certain situations, that's a tough one.
And I'll say there is, or I should say, things that I do to test my character so that I am reacting favorably, or what I deem to be favorable. And so, like, one thing that I do is I often go stand in the main square here in Zagreb, Croatia, and I'm talking to people, preaching to people. And at this point in the year, the weather is cold enough to where if I stand outside with, I guess, summer shoes, my feet are going to start going numb. My toes are going to start going numb.
Whoa, it's pretty cold.
And so, but it doesn't seem like it's that cold. But if you stand out there for long enough, it's like you'll feel your feet. At least for me, feel my feet or toes going numb. And so, I could buy winter shoes, thicker socks, but I decided not to because I'm testing my character and testing my ability to endure a seemingly uncomfortable situation.
Ooh, okay.
And still remain friendly and happy and greeting people and not letting the thoughts of, ooh, these fingers are gone, or my toes are gone. Not letting those thoughts affect my ability to effectively communicate with whoever it is that I'm communicating with.
Right.
And so I would say that this has also helped me with gratitude as well, because I come to the point where it's like, man, I could be outside on the streets, or life could get pretty tough, and maybe some strong dictator comes through and he's walking people through the cold. And so it's like, well, that's a possibility, and there's a possibility that I could be out in the cold for a long time. So let me kind of train my my character, my mind, to go through it and retain joy. And so I think what's also beneficial is that I know I'm going to be home in about 30 minutes. And so, and so this also encourages sympathy for other people who are like, so I think about World War II often whenever that's happening. It's like, man, whew, some people were
they had it rough
and straight up cold.
Yep.
And it's like, man. It's like,
it humbles you in a sense. Yeah. You bring up a very good point, Emmanuel, about feeling uncomfortable. How important is feeling uncomfortable to you? Like, obviously, I mean, you've done speeches, you've gotten in front of crowds, and public speaking is sometimes somebody's worst nightmare.
Feeling uncomfortable uncomfortable
Yeah.
is a daily strategy for me.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because I have seen it time and time again. If I don't step outside of my comfort zone, I am not going to move forward. And that being stuck feeling,
Yeah.
and that kind of like, that there's something up there, and it's like it leads to frustration. And so I have discovered that, look, I got to get into this uncomfortable situation because there's some sort of golden nugget outside of this zone of comfort. And whether that golden nugget just be a matter of one more iteration, and that's just building endurance.
Okay, building endurance for your uncomfortableness. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if it's just that, that's good for me as well.
Okay.
It's like building that endurance.
It gets easier and easier every time you try it, right?
And I would say that there are some things that that get easier and easier, but there's one thing that I remember quite frequently because I take cold showers.
Okay.
And
that's a tough one.
That's
a tough one.
And so I take cold showers, and that's one of those things where it's like, woo.
But there's like physically, there's like something about taking cold showers that is physically great for your skin, right? And your mental health.
Oh,
isn't there?
Maybe I've heard something about that, but that's not something that I remember.
Yeah, there's some benefits. Let's see.
Cold shower.
Yeah, benefits of taking a cold shower include calming itchy skin, waking you up, increasing circulation, reducing muscle soreness like post-workout, potentially boosting weight loss, and glowing hair and skin. Okay.
All right.
Hey, I might.
It's nice. It's looking up.
I might hop into a cold shower often. Okay.
So part of the reason why there's a deeper level as to why I do.
Hence why your skin is very it's glowing and.
Oh man, I think maybe that's more me sweating because I'm nervous.
No, we're good. You're good.
No, I'm messing. But part of the reason why I take the cold shower is because I'm trying to take the shower very quickly.
Okay.
Because there's this apartment that I'm in. There is some sort of leak going on, or that's the way it seems, underneath the shower. And so if I stay in there too long, the water will start to come out onto from underneath the shower onto the floor. And so it's also practical as well, because I don't want to have to squeegee the water off of the floor. And so if I take the cold shower is going to push me to take a quick shower. So this way I don't have to clean that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're unknowingly treating your physical body some good.
The skin.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll help me grow some of my hair back.
Skin circulation, the soreness post-workout, that's a huge one, actually. That's, wow, honestly, I'm
yeah, I didn't realize that there were, I guess, benefits to okay. All right, cool.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, there's benefits to a lot of things that, I mean, may seem hidden that may seem peculiar to I mean just general
To the
people.
normal way
To
of
the
doing
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
coach,
Especially like
coach.
being back to being uncomfortable. Most people will be like, why would I want to be uncomfortable? I think that's the narrative in some cultures and some societies too. Always, you know, keep I mean being comfortable. A lot of people just want to be comfortable. I mean, with everything they want, you know, things to go a certain way, but I mean, I necessarily won't say that that's a weakness, but there are some times where being uncomfortable is a very positive thing. Um, Going to school for the very first time can be very uncomfortable, but you're going to school for an education. Um, Job interviews are super uncomfortable. They can be nerve wracking, but the positive in that is you might have a potential to have a career or a job that will potentially change your life. But first, you have to step into that uncomfortable zone to do that. Podcasting for me is uncomfortable. Emmanuel, how many times have we interacted? We've only interacted emails, you know, for the past couple of days, and jumping on a call, not I mean, we've seen pictures of each other, but not necessarily hearing each other's voice, talking to each other. In a sense, that can be very, very uncomfortable. Meeting somebody for the first time and not just meeting them and saying hi. We're actually recording this.
Right.
We're online recording this and having people listen to our conversation. That can be very uncomfortable.
Agreed. And so, in regards to feeling comfort or feeling discomfort, there's a tweak that everybody on the planet who is chasing comfort needs to put into place. And it's, I need to be prepared to have joy during the difficult times in life, because no human being will escape the difficulties in life. It's not possible, because it's built into this game called life, difficulty and tragedy. And so it weakens the human being to want to continue to chase comfort, because it's not life. And when you get hit with the uppercut and the right and the left from life, or the toddler is driving you crazy for
Yeah.
past 10 days of lockdown, this is when a person who has been practicing endurance for uncomfortableness, this is where the hope is that all of that training kicks in and sustains them through that difficult time.
Yeah.
And so if you've been so used to comfort, and then also expecting that's how life should be, then when you do get hit with the punch, maybe you didn't get that job interview, or maybe you messed up for the first time ever on a podcast, or whatever uncomfortable situation that you found yourself in. That'll shake a person up.
Absolutely.
Not knowing, it's like, oh, I thought everything was supposed to go this way. It's like, my mindset is that, in a sense, everything should be troublesome, and it's a more matter of learning how to go through the trouble. And so there is, he's since passed, but his name is Jim Rohn, and he used to have quotes kind of.
Yeah, I've listened to a couple of his things. I haven't had a chance to pick up any of his books, but I definitely familiar with the name Jim Rohn's. Yeah.
And so he has some quotes or some prayers like this. Don't ask for an easy life. Ask for the strength to make it through the difficulties in life. And so, wait, let me see if I can remember one specific one. It's like, don't ask for the wind to I'm trying to remember. Don't, but ask for the wisdom to set a better sail. So don't ask for, I guess, the wind to be blowing perfectly as you're going through life, but ask for the wisdom to be able to set your sails better. And so it's like, essentially, he's communicating that that truth, that it's like, you're not about to walk through this life. Straight up peaches and cream. It's like, nah, you need to have this mindset that I'm gonna be eating my peaches and cream while walking on some broken glass. But it's like just a matter of that switch for a person. It can do a lot for a person just to understand. It's like, oh, okay. Built into this game called life is difficulty. And so with that said, it's like, okay, well, let me prepare myself for the difficulties.
Oh, you know what? I found it. I think I found it. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. That's powerful. Yeah. In a sense, don't wish that your problems go away. Wish that you have the ability to work through those problems. Right. Also, I heard another concept that ties into this is happiness is not and this is also a Mark Manson quote. He says that happiness is not the absence of problems. It's the ability to I guess to react to problems. Or I'm butchering that, but it's along the lines of what Jim Rohn is saying here.
He's saying.
Yeah. What other self-development guys do you read and listen to?
Let's see. So there's, I'm not sure if you heard of this one, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, okay, yeah. SpongeBob's cool. He's a cool cat.
It's a cool cat. So I've picked up things from a lot of people just in general in life.
Yeah. And Jim Rohn's a good one. He's really good. Are you familiar with Norman Vincent Peale? He's actually he's another one. He was a minister as well. He wrote the book The Power of Positive Thinking.
Okay, I'm not.
I'm sorry. The Power of Positivity. There we go. Norman Vincent Peale. These are old books, like not Andrew, Dale Carnegie. He's another one. He wrote the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie he's fascinating because he writes books about like speeches and how to communicate in speeches and there's him. There's Zig Ziglar. He's also a sales guy too. Earl Nightingale is also another one. I'm fascinated by all these characters because they just have different opinions about like human psychology and reacting to things and being positive and having a different outlook and how you communicate with your neighbor and stuff. It's really cool. I mean, and to listen to quotes and to use them and to help them. I mean, use the quotes with another person that might put whatever issues they may have into perspective for them in a positive way or a negative way, depending on how the other person thinks about their issue. But at least you're helping, right?
And I think this is a good point to close it on. You said they talk about things to help people with communication and to bring everything full circle from what we started talking about at the beginning of the podcast, trial and error. And trial and error is how I've been able to get better and better with my communication skills. I talk to this type of person. I talk to that type of person. A wide variety of people because to communicate with a punk rocker or another preacher or teenager, because sometimes I'm talking to teenagers, to be able to communicate to all of these people, I have to test things out and figure out, okay, what can I say? What can I say? And so that continual trial and error is
absolutely.
It's the beautiful thing about, for me, life in general. And I think even for you or anybody else who's listening, it's like, break a few eggs, and you'll notice that life can become much more fascinating.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And let your guard down.
Yeah, you got to listen to the people around you. It's not just you. We're sharing this earth with what is 7.3 billion other people. I mean, with all 7.3 billion different perspectives on this thing, this strange roller coaster, this strange things that we're going through called life. It's fascinating. It's good to listen. It's good to be intuitive. It's good to listen to your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to bounce ideas and bounce, feelings off of a different person because they might have a different perspective. Yeah, absolutely. It's all wisdom.
And, just to add one other piece, it's sometimes so very interesting to think that, man, somebody else sees this world from a completely different lens than I do. Like, we could be looking at the exact same thing, the Coke can in the store, and they see it in a completely different light.
Yeah, exactly.
Perspective.
Yeah, it gives you a different lens. It's like, I don't know, wearing different pair of glasses. I don't know, 3D glasses. That is a perspective of somebody else.
Yeah.
Putting your ego away and listening. But it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to let your guard down for most people. Even me. I can be aware of all this stuff, but sometimes my reactions are just so quick. That toddler that we talk about, that toddler reacts to different things without our consent.
And you're right. It's a battle.
Mm-hmm.
And one practical thing that I can add that is seeming to help me slow down is if I'm typing text message or something,
Yeah.
and the option for autofill comes up, I don't choose autofill. I type out the whole word. And
Okay.
it constantly is reminding me, slow down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so that'll help me, or it seems to be having an additive effect in regards to be mindful of what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Be mindful of your
Yeah.
communications, and
Yeah.
don't rush through conversation, and don't rush through your work.
Yeah.
And so it's constantly having to again and again remind myself again and again. It's like, slow down.
Yeah. Slow
Easy.
down. Easy.
Easy.
Be in the moment.
Uh,
Be in the moment. Choose your words. Yeah. I like that.
cool. Well, sir, I think this was a very good chat.
Yeah. Emmanuel, thanks
and-
for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was good. I'm gonna go catch myself another nap before I get up.
There we go.
And go charging into the day.
There we
But
go.
yeah, you gave me a boost. It's a good
No,
chat.
you gave me a boost, and you've probably given 1,000 other people a boost on this one. I appreciate it. But before you go, I'm going to give you some time to talk about what you got going on, your platform, anything like that. Of course, I'm going to put the description or the links to everything and anything that you would like me to down in the show notes. So go ahead.
Okay, so people can mostly find me on Instagram, and it's at Emmanuel Enime, all one word. And you need me to spell it, or you'll just drop it in the show notes.
I'm going to drop that in the show notes.
Drop it in.
Mm-hmm.
So there, I am focused on right now helping people understand some of the fundamentals and tools in order to play this game called life. And one of them, I just finished this, unforgiveness. So that's a big one, to get victory over that. Once a person gets
Yeah.
victory over that, man, you're skating.
Yeah.
But you're going to be tested every day.
Yeah.
You'll be tested every day for your willingness to forgive others. And so, but it's a good thing. Get that peace of mind, joy, and overcoming those anger snowballs. Yeah. Practicing forgiveness, good thing. And so that's something that I just recently finished on yesterday, hitting on that, and then I'll move into other fundamentals. And certainly I'll talk about some of the things that we've talked about here. Communication.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Talking to strangers.
Yeah, talking to strangers.
Putting the guard down.
Yeah.
Making sure that you get advice from other people. Consult somebody.
Somebody, anybody.
Don't bottle up your emotions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Take control of that toddler that you got running around in your head 24/7. You got to tame that kid. But Emmanuel, thanks again. Again, the links to Emmanuel's Instagram is going to be down in the show notes. And maybe next time you hop on, it will be 3 a.m. for me and 7 p.m. for you. So we can test that. I like that.
Okay. All right. He's like, yeah, let me trial and error.
Trial and error. After I have that cold shower, I
Ready
learned.
to perform.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Cool. Emmanuel, that was another one. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
The Mindbuzz.